Welcome back to West Texas View.
Welcome back to the West Texas View. You've met Dawn Cockrell, who is a certified professional midwife, and she's telling us, she's answering all of my questions about this that I am very ignorant of, and I hope that we're giving you some information that you find as interesting as I do. And Dawn, you founded the West Texas Birth Services.
Yes.
And does that mean that you have kind of a little mini hospital and they come to you and have the baby and then go home? Or I'm not sure I understand this. I'd always thought about a midwife as going to somebody's house and whatever.
It's not always that way. From 2006 to 2008, I ran West Texas Birth Center. But the majority of my clients, after about 2, 3, 4 months of care, decided to change from a birth center birth to having a home birth. So here I was.
And you encourage that?
Oh yes. I mean, I couldn't hold it against them. I had 4 home births myself, and I knew the comfort of getting care in my home and not having to pack up and go to some place, give birth, pack up, and go back home. So it was really nice. So yeah, I shut the doors because my home birth practice got too busy. The fantastic thing about having a home birth is you've got everything there in your home. So everything that was at the birth center is there in my home. Yeah.
And so then, even if during the home birth something goes wrong, and I don't know what could, like breach or something, I don't know what that is, but if something goes wrong, then you immediately call an ambulance and they're transported to the hospital.
Yes, and there are things that can go wrong. There's no such thing as zero risk. And birth is a fickle thing, which is why midwives who are trained in normal are the first ones to find out or to actually understand something is a little abnormal here and you don't belong in a home birth setting. So, you know, to err is human, but you know, to see something going a little awry at a home birth, you don't want to be at a home setting. So you just take them into that hospital as soon as possible.
Well, you were talking about all of the things that you do. You first of all talk to them about how important diet and nutrition and I guess exercise and all of these things are, not smoking, not drinking, and so on. But do you also educate the rest of the family while you're doing that? And so you meet with them like weekly or something, and you're visiting with the whole family essentially.
I am. In my office, they bring their families in, children too. Some very large families. My office is my home away from home, so it's a small little office. I don't need very much. We sit down, we watch birth videos. I teach children where babies come from in a very gentle way with mom and dad's support, and they're reading books. We have wonderful new books by Dr. Sears on where babies come from and how little brother or sister's coming. So we introduce quite a bit of education during the 9 months that mothers are coming to us. And then of course, they take our childbirth class. So that's incorporated with each prenatal. So on average, an OB-GYN might see you for 6 minutes. On average, for me, it's about an hour, 15 minutes, hour and 45 minutes. Just depends on how much time that mother needs. And it only takes 10-15 minutes to listen to a baby, do your blood pressure, pee in a cup, and weigh. So all of that other stuff is nutritional counseling, answering questions, doing emotional support, and educating the family on what mom needs and why she's feeling so tired. And all of that's really important for the support and the growth of a family.
And the changes in her body and all of these things if she's a brand new mother.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that you had 4 children by midwifery, but so you needed a lot more education on that first one, and you didn't need anything at the second one.
I was floored at the first one. I thought, how much I don't know. And it really motivated me to get to know more.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, also I want, we've talked about what low risk means, but tell me, and we've touched on this too, but tell me in a nutshell what the advantages of using a midwife? We've talked about the time
Right.
that they get, and we've talked about how nice it is to be at home and have your baby there,
Have
and
your cake and eat it too.
and have your loved ones around you.
Yes.
Because do you encourage the whole family to be there?
Not necessarily, because it depends on what each mother really needs. And so I guess the greatest advantage to midwifery care is it's individualized. In this society we live in, it's so cookie cutter, manufactured, get them out, process them, move them on. Midwifery is very individualized, which is why I only take 20 to 25 clients per year, if that much. You know, if somebody needs extra time from me, I can bump my whole schedule to accommodate that person's needs. So it's a servant-like activity. Yeah.
And it's almost a servant heart.
Yes.
It's almost a missionary zeal.
Yes, it is.
That you have in doing this.
And my family has to have that same heart.
Well,
Yeah.
and that was what I was going to ask you. What do your children think about the work that their mom does?
Well, I'd like to think that they're very forgiving because there's no such thing as holidays and other things that can't be interrupted. Many Thanksgiving have I delivered a baby. So, you know, the interesting thing about my family is if I miss them, they come with me. If I'm on a little trip down to Alpine to do my Alpine mommies on that day, they get to benefit from the cultural exchange.
And because you're homeschooling them, this is like a field trip.
Oh, sure. My oldest daughter is about to finish her high school and has asked if she can become a midwife. So, I mean, I guess that would be the best compliment a mother
That's
could
right.
ever have.
That is exactly right. What did your mom think when you told her that this was what you wanted to do?
I'm a very soft-spoken person. I'm not very pushy. So she was, she says, even my older friends from Waco area where I went to high school say, Dawn's a midwife? Because it just doesn't compute. Well, let me tell you, mothering and becoming
It's
a mother.
gentle and...
It also changes us into mama bears. So we may be soft-spoken, but we have a steel spine, you know? So I guess that's what changed me, is becoming a mother in the first place.
And also wanting every mother to feel like you do.
Sure,
And
wanting them to
feel
have
the
benefits.
joy and the happiness.
Yes. And in this day and age where we're second to the bottom in maternal and infant mortality, and we have all this technology that's not helping us. We need to go back to the roots.
This is just absolutely fascinating. I'm going to ask Dawn to come back for another week because we have barely scratched the surface of the list of questions that I have. So she'll be back next Sunday for another program. And thank you for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have Dawn with us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB TV and KWES TV.